Okay, I'm ready for enchantment and whimsy. Standing mode, yes. We are going for the full experience. There we go. Layers of Fear is a unique, immersive game experience in which every decision affects the narrative. As in life, it is the doors you open, the memories you take with you, and the shadows you explore that will define who you are. This may be our game, but it is your journey. So here we are. Hello everyone, and welcome to Layers of Fear, a game which you have long begged me to play, and I've been aware of ever since it came out back in 2016. However, I've always seen it as, sort of a mixed bag, Some people say that they really, really loved it, and others say it's just another horror walking simulator. Well, I've been looking for a reason to get into it, and I actually recently found out there's a VR version, and people say that it's a pretty good conversion. There's so many different versions of this. There's the 2016 version, the VR version, there's a 2023 remaster, there's re-releases, it's a whole mess. It may not have been conceived as a VR game, but I've always found that horror is definitely best in this medium because, well, the first thing I notice, even on the menu, is that the visual fidelity is incredible. And when it comes to being scared, well, you do build up a tolerance after a while. But when you're really there, the horrors are much harder to ignore. And this is going to be quite a surreal one. See, in this, we play as apparently a mad artist, as their reality begins to crumble in their insanity. I can't wait to see what this is like. It's been a long time coming. So, let's try it out and uncover this canvas. Every portrait that is painted with feeling is a portrait of the artist, not of the sitter. Oscar Wilde in the portrait of Dorian Gray. So, of course, art and our interpretations of art are going to be central to this. And knowing so little about our character and their apparently sordid past, seeking redemption, well, maybe their own artworks will give us a clue. Oh, this is already so atmospheric. This dark old house, the rain pouring outside. Oh, this was crying out for VR. And when it came out in 2016, that's technology that would have been coming around, but wasn't really widely available yet. I remember watching Markiplier play with his Oculus Rift dev kit. Now we're entering with the index. Hang on, I just want to get rid of a couple of things. With VR, you always have to make sure that things are right for comfort. Let's turn off the tunneling. I really don't like that. I don't really get motion sick when it comes to VR. Where's my hands? Oh, wait, I can't see my hands. Alright, our hands are working. They are giant. Wow, look at that. Our sleeves and knuckles are even stained with paints. That is a really nice attention to detail. Even now, we're buried in our work. For such an old game, there's even some level of finger tracking, which is really impressive. Alright, let's explore the house then. Oh, look at that. Ooh. Seems that maybe our skills are to the neglect of everything else around here. It's got a beautifully melancholy soundtrack. And a beautifully melancholy frosted window to sit beside and read. Then again, it seems like we're the type of person that probably doesn't spend much time doing much of anything besides painting. What is this? Oh, our hands disappear, but we can pick up objects just around. Dude, even if I were just exploring this map, I would be totally fine with that. I noticed there were some paint stains on that door over there. So that's probably going to be significant. Okay, we can't push the door open, but we can use our hands. Figured you'd be up all night, so I made you a little shred bread? I bet even Rembrandt occasionally took time off from being brilliant and shoved his head off like the rest of us common folk. I know, gasp. In other words, get some sleep, you big dummy. I love you. Happily married, or at least we were. Huh. Oh, notes everywhere. We're one of those couples, huh? Paint. A whole bunch of things I won't even try to pronounce. Air fresheners, 50 packs, yeah. And a whole lot of booze. That is hilarious, the way you're just gently set down when I let go of you. Bits of tattered paper all over the place. We can look in all these drawers and containers. Looks like some of that booze has been left shattered on the ground. Got a pantry in here. You know, this place is so full of happy memories, it seems like. It still seems inviting. Some of this food even still looks fresh, and yet, I don't know, it's all tinged with sadness. I can't wait to learn more about this guy. Game broken. Game absolutely broken. We can't put stuff on the scale. Well, we can put our own hand on it. Reminds me of the beginning of a Guillermo del Toro movie. And it's one of those games where the darkness really is dark, huh? And the wet bandits have been here. Let's shut that off. That is such astonishing attention to detail. And it's a horror game that really seems to understand that the space is such a large part of what makes it. I mean, without atmosphere, you've got nothing in your horror story. How the hell did they... something the something... Wait, below knee prosthesis? Okay, so who's wearing the prosthetic? Somebody lost a leg. Ugh. What a face to greet us in the flash of the lightning. Hello, sir. You seem jovial, but I don't know, something about you seems almost monstrous. Like it's a fake smile worn by a troll. Sorry, this is all really rude if you're not evil. Sir, I didn't touch the workshop, just like you asked. Although I can't imagine the mess that's inside. Also, if you care so much for that room, maybe you should pay more attention to where you leave the keys. I brought them back to your office. Have a nice day. Do we have a maid or a butler? Yep, we find this predictably locked. Oh, we have a basement as well. It is so dark down here. So dark it fades to let us know that we're not meant to go there until we find a light source. Okay. Let's ascend the staircase. And it simply wouldn't be this kind of house unless I run my hand along the banister. You guys have no idea to what extent I'm in my element right now. What are you looking at? You look like you just found my report card. Some of these are actually quite familiar to me. Okay, maybe music was more her thing. The way this sits under the spotlight, it's almost like the house is offering me a drink upon my return. Been working all night. Don't wake me up.
Tumbling all around, tumbling all around, tumbling all around. So funny. Tumbling here and there, tumbling everywhere, and I must declare, I
can't stop
right
it.
on her toes, and when she...
But you can. I never touched it. We find the mirror completely smashed. Wait. Galactic's grand opening in flames. Disastrous fire at the new department store leaves dozens fighting for their lives. Long-awaited opening of the Galactic department store turned into hell on Earth when the building's wiring burst into flames. While the majority of the visitors managed to reach the emergency exits in time, several unfortunate attendees were trapped in the back of the building, having no chance to escape the raging inferno. The exact number of casualties has not yet been determined, although it is estimated that at least a dozen people have been severely injured. The owner of the Galactic, Ronald Sheffield, has so far declined to comment on today's tragic events. Even the paper looks like it's been singed. Either her death or the loss of a limb. There's a cane here. I'm sorry, can I just, twirl this around, get a controller shaped like it for full haptic feedback, and then, I don't know, just retire here? Sorry, couldn't sleep. The leg's been acting up again. Figured I might as well do some work. Love you. I'd like to believe that's paint or wine, but it doesn't look like it. Look, there's almost like roots growing up the bottom of the door. Now that's a haul worth backing away from slowly. Did we really have to have another one up there? Do we have a balcony out the window? Seems like there's red light reflecting off of an upper porch. The remains of many a smashed bottle. Something happened with her to leave us alone. Listen, we can even hear ourselves trudging over the broken glass. Ah, yeah, now this is a study worthy of brooding. There's our key. And there's our book of fairy tales. Wait. Oh, we can flip through them using the stick. Only in our artwork, there's no happy ending. Wolves in our world tend to win. Wait, is there a note there? My dear friend, let me ask you one simple question. Have you completely lost your mind? I know you're going through some hard times right now. I really do. That's why I agreed to let you do those illustrations in the first place. For old time's sake. I even deliberately gave you a trivial task because I expected Little Red Riding Hood to be something you can draw in your sleep. What I didn't expect is to get this demented nightmare fuel you submitted for a kid's bedtime story. There's no way in hell I'm using this, and I already regret agreeing to a payment in advance. Please get it together. Your old pal, Liam Brickstone, Whispered Tale Publishing House. So it seems like this takes place in the relatively modern day, like within a couple of decades of now. Although we live like we're a brooding writer out of the 1890s. Even still, I guess we at one time had a reputation, which, clearly our art skills are pretty good. But ever since all this happened, we simply haven't been in the right place. I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you. Tonight is all about you and me. Let's make it special. You promised. But after the fire, the suffering was not done. Is there like an inventory I can put this in? Okay. When I let go of it, it goes to me. And I can see down there the floating ghost of the fact that I'm holding it. Alright, is there perhaps anything more? We can't move this chair. But what do we learn? It is worth searching in drawers and cabinets. We could head right downstairs to the studio. Thank you. You always just know how to punctuate this. Hang on, wait. Does anybody else see the face in the glass? I know it's pure pareidolia right now, but it's actually very detailed. Look, that middle row, I see an eye, a blank panel, and then an eye, what looks like a nose and then a mouth. Children's toys. Hang on. We had a child. A very young one, too. With a very expensive looking crib. A little toy soldier. Well, one of us is smiling. Child seems neutral and, well, whoever's on the right, presumably Mommy, looks downright nightmarish. Also, one of the legs is a little bit offset, but I guess somebody wanted to follow in Daddy's footsteps, huh? And Daddy wanted to make sure that they were exactly as messed up as we are. Only we would have thought, oh, look, I'll hang a cute puppy in your room. And then chose that. We have to at least try this lock, right? Of course. Well, let's go see that workshop then. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we can attribute what I saw to the stains on the glass. I'm not sure quite how to explain the rain going upward. Did the lights just go out? Okay, it kind of looked for a second like it did. You unnerve me so much. So much it's unreal. Also, apologize, there will be a seam, like kind of in the middle of the screen. I'm not sure where exactly it is, but you can probably see my hand crossing over it. That's because I prefer to record both eyes. It greatly increases the field of view of the recording. I have to finish my opus. Doors closing behind me? Maybe that's how I like it. Now tell me, why is it that the model had to be so covered in the stuff? I wonder, did we ever try and paint her? Wait. Look, you deserve. Finish it. Maybe we believe our salvation is within this work? Okay, you're clearly telling me to open this, thank you. Let's pull it down then. It's covered up for a reason. Get working on your magnum opus. So it's already been started, but was stopped fairly early on. All I can see now, were I to interpret it, is a green field, an overcast sky, and blood pouring down like a waterfall. I wonder who last sat in that chair. Ooh, maybe I can look in that chest. So many discarded brushes. Look at that. A bunch of them are broken off in frustration. What more can I do here? And of course our alcohol supply, maybe it fueled our art. Yep, 2/3 of our supplies are alcohol. Ooh, look. I'm so sick and tired of us talking through these notes. We live in the same house, for God's sake. Come talk to me when you're done. Before you go to sleep. And I guess we, in a frustrated fashion, toss that back in there. Okay. There's a lot put away. These cabinets. Locked the lot of them. Which means it may actually be important for later. So we're locked in here until we're finished. Now, get it right this time. Have we failed this in the past? Have we been unsatisfied? This wasn't this way before. I was really worried I would see something in the flash. I can hardly see that painting in the shadows, but it looks like someone being snuck up on by a person with a blade or a dagger. Just out of reach. Literally. Yes! We can... Okay, well, were that me, my fingers would have been amputated right there. These were some stunning fingers, really. Now what do I do? Well, I can try heading back. That doesn't guarantee I'll be going the same way. Not in the least. Going in circles. All the booze probably made it feel that way. Okay, that note's not readable. Look at those shadows on the windowsill. The sound of the wind trying to get in through the smallest, tightest cracks. It's a momentary respite over the thunder, I suppose. Busts. Oh, we can light the candles. There we go. Oh, something really weird just happened with my vision there. That was so weird in the headset. Look at that. We can even see the shadows of the plants outside being cast on the floor. Can I just say, yeah. No, I see it. This experience, aside from the hiccup with the hands in the beginning, has been absolutely fantastic in VR, and it's all because of the immersion. And it's not even just from being in the headset, it's from all the care that is put into this environment and its feeling. This is creepy and comfy to be sure. This is not a pipe. This save the date of something. Request the pleasure of your company to celebrate their wedding on Saturday the 9th of June at St. Luke's Chapel. An old wedding invitation. Possibly ours? There's a chest over here with a combination lock. Those that aren't just melting away. 854. All we had to do was see. 8. The whispers all around me. The past holds back. Look closer.
The thought alone that the most beautiful piece of art doesn't have my name on it is killing me. So, will you marry me?
Wow, you're making me swoon. But what do I do with it? Put it straight back, I suppose. So, we may have had our quirks, may have been buried in our work, but we did love each other, clearly, like it was a good relationship. Well, maybe it soured towards the end, maybe something happened with her and we regret it. We regret not being there during that time. Looks like I just missed whoever was waiting for me to get through that. Hang on. You've been snooping around my workshop again. For the last time, you are not allowed in that room, even if the door happens to be open. I forbid it. This is your last warning. Next time, you'll have to look for a new job. Nothing there. So much of this place is stained with paints. That's a baby doll. With paints acting as smears of blood. Oh my god. Something I want to point out right now. Even though this game began with some really nice music and even vocals to go with it, this hasn't been a very soundtrack-heavy game. It's really allowed the atmosphere of the world to speak for itself, which is really, really nice. My love, even though you have not been born yet, I can feel already your presence. It's simply amazing. I just can't believe how lucky I am. A year ago, all I had was talent and ambition. Now, against all odds, I have a career, a loving husband, and you. I've never been a deeply religious person. I guess what other people look for in a sermon, I found in perfecting my art. But now I can't help but feel like there's a higher power watching over me. They once told me that I would never succeed as a musician. Now I'm playing sold-out concerts at some of the most prestigious venues in the country. They also said I had a difficult character, and that I would never find a soulmate. Guess again. Finally, a doctor once told me that I would never be able to have children of my own. And yet, here you are with me. I am quite possibly the happiest woman in the world. I love you so much. It's so unfair for all this to be taken away. I guess what remains to be seen is to what extent it was our fault. Either way, it's pretty clear we haven't been coping well. Our appreciation for art means we've adorned the walls with a million eyes to judge us as we pass. Each one a Rorschach test, their expression changing depending on how we feel about ourselves. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, I didn't expect you to keep going. Down the rabbit hole. Get it? Because the line from the book is the rabbit hole, but rabid, like vicious and violent. Oh, you, always getting into places you don't belong. So now that begs the question, what happened to our child? We know that this family suffered great misfortune, but we don't yet know if or how any of them died. But clearly we feel ourselves to be alone, and clearly we feel that all of this can be righted by just finishing our work. They're starting to morph, to degrade. Paint deep lies. Are you saying these works are inauthentic? That ours needs to be more so raw, straight from the soul? Everything seemed so normal right until the moment we entered that workshop. Why would you do that? God, at first it fakes you out, like, look, a little rat jump scare like in the beginning. And then the way it plays out is so much more disturbing than a jump scare. Hang on, art interpretation is going to be a big part of this, because I would imagine that everything means something. Oh, what, were you afraid I missed it the first time? Seems like they're having a grand old time trying to fish a frog out of the water. What does that mean for us, if anything? There's a bear on the ground. Oh my... Oh! I backed up and could feel you blocking me. Your colors are all starting to run. Someone climbing out of a mirror from behind. You look like you're crying tears of blood. Well, now you look like corpses on the end of ropes. By distorting it, you turned one scene into another entirely. Something that even in its destruction still seems like intention. I guess that's how some might feel about our own artwork, right? Seeing what we made before and what we made after. No working mirror here. We need a key.
Hello. It's about time for us to talk, don't you think? I mean, I've seen you in my house so many times, and yet I could never find the courage to face you directly. Not until now.
We were so buried on our work, we became that distant to the point where even living in the same house, we were practically strangers. Maybe we were aware of what she was going through and just didn't want to acknowledge it, just hoped it would go away on its own. Maybe we felt we were responsible for creating a bad environment for our child. And yet at the same time, didn't feel the motivation, didn't have the will to change anything. I mean, because look at this. She's clearly dead on the floor or in very bad distress. But the kids just have to keep playing normally, aware that something's wrong, but not able to do anything about it. And he's just resigned, whether he caused it or not. Wanderer, take 1,000 steps. Thank you. I feel very accomplished. These walls are so damaged I can hear the rumble of the wind outside. Oh no, what's gonna happen with this? This is a very dark game, too. I mean, I can see, but I may have to make some edits so that you can. The sound of walking over shattered glass is setting me a lot more on edge than it did before in the study. First step is the hardest. Well, that means I'm 1,000 degrees less hard now, right? Every room in the house exists somewhere, doesn't it? That note is no longer here. Let's find out if I'm a vampire. Potentially. The door's not locked, but it's stuck. I believe that is undetermined. They're withering, decomposing in front of us. Make it. It looked like there was something there, like for just a moment. It's sending us back, symbolizing the decay, the rot, the neglect in our lives. No. Need I dig through this to find the key? Wait. I can reach out and grab that.
First, I looked for a canvas. Not just any canvas. I had to find a knife. Not one of those bread ones. It needed to be as sharp as a razor. So I used a razor, in fact, and then carefully flayed the skin. Booze helped keep my hand steady.
You were creating art on your own skin. Or at least that's what it seems like. Otherwise, you had unwitting volunteers, but no, it seems like you really wanted this to be personal. And we've got it in our inventory now. Is that what this is all about? We need to go through these visions and find our art supplies? Deep breaths. Remember, you're a professional. It's just the first few strokes. Then you're over the hump. What's so hard about it? This note is blood-stained. By the way, I really appreciate that it brightens things up when you're holding a note. And little by little, it comes into being. Our towering flesh flamingos, sentinels of the landscape. Wait. I am absolutely loving this so far. I mean, it may be a walking simulator-style horror game, but as befitting of its premise, it is so artistically presented, and we're only just starting to see the beginnings of it. It is truly disturbing. Not just video game disturbing in the sense of having corpses everywhere, but even seeing one little piece of flesh. The circumstances are enough to imbue it with so much meaning and really make it feel like we're doing something horrifying. I was really worried that a game like this and with this premise might kind of be really full of itself right out of the gate, and I'm not really finding that to be the case. So many walking simulators fall into the trap of wanting so much to be Silent Hill or Silent Hill PT that they end up just not working on any literal level. It invites you to interpret things. Everything feels like it's got meaning, but sometimes you have to look for a while to see it, and you might come up with different answers 2 different times. And all this is colored by the fact that we are getting enough concrete information to carry us forward and not feel totally lost. And of course, we're still early on, so we're not supposed to know everything right yet. I'm also really happy that there seems to be a variety of scares to be had, and it's all complimentary. I mean, it starts by really immersing us in the atmosphere, these finely crafted environments and the sounds of the world around us. And, sometimes it traps us in the dark, and sometimes there's just wild things happening that feel like ghosts tormenting us for our sins, and sometimes there's just a jump scare that comes out of nowhere, but it's not to the level of like a JPEG appearing in a hallway. It's just things to punctuate the tension. But you know what? While I'm here, relatively safe in this inner sanctum, trapped with my work of art that I'm pretty sure is going to be the death of me by the end, I should point out that even the jump scares have this really cool thing going for them where they don't work with the traditional jump scare pacing. So far, all of them haven't served as the crescendo, the end of a tense scene. They've served to enhance it. So many walking simulators kind of like pride themselves on not having jump scares at all. I like the way they're done here. They're not the point of the horror, but they are there to make you realize that it will do it, that, you can be startled. Because if that doesn't happen ever in a game, a lot of the time you just end up thinking, it won't do it. There's nothing to really be on edge about, and you do get used to just being on the ride, no matter how scary it would otherwise be. They do have their role, they do have their place, and I think this is doing it correctly. Well, let's enter our shapeless dreams. It even got an old-timey elevator? Sign me up. Now the question is just which way are we going? Past catches us, past catches up. In that moment, I slinked to the back because I could not help but be reminded of the elevator from Madison. Seems the rain has died down some. This might be the ultimate walking about in our dark old house game. Locked. Locked. Yes, I did hear that creaking behind me. I'm just staring into the dark. I think there's something there, but I can barely see it. I can barely see what looks like an arm on the door and a grinning face. But it's so dark, I can't even be sure it's there. Oh, it's you again. It's you again. No, look, because the way your arm is set up, I really thought you were like leaning around, your arm up propped against the door on the doorknob. There's a key. What is this? A dark room where you contemplate the artist that came before you? Oh, I should have known it was you. There's a note here as well. Hang on, gimme. Dear sir, while I can certainly understand that you're upset, and I have nothing but sympathy for your wife and yourself, I must categorically state that I do not wish to receive any further correspondence from you in this matter. Any skin graft procedure is extremely complicated and inherently associated with the risk of failure. Having stated that, I assure you that me and my colleagues at St. Anne have made every effort to ensure a positive outcome for your wife. Personally speaking, I believe we have done the best job possible considering the extent of tissue damage. You are, of course, entitled to your opinion, and I can certainly understand your disappointment. What I do not understand is how you seem to think writing hateful letters to me or my fellow doctors will ameliorate the situation. As I've already stated, I can certainly understand you've been under a lot of stress as of late, and thus will not press charges if you refrain from any future correspondence. Let me make it absolutely clear that I will not tolerate any further threats aimed at my staff, my family, or myself. If you wish to seek psychological help, I can have my assistant provide contact information of several specialists who would be more than competent to help get you through these hard times. With regards and best wishes for you and your wife, William H. Green, M.D. We got to the point of sending abusive letters to the doctors who failed to help her. She's playing again. But it was only a representation.
Why did you stop? That tune was perfect. Honey, please, just a little longer. At least until I finish painting this one part. Oh, don't make me beg.
And as soon as we remember it's just a memory, we can't hear it anymore. And the memory, in more ways than one, decays. Well, it doesn't just deteriorate, it almost looks like dead tree branches swaying in the wind. Kind of like what we saw on that door, the one with the bloodstains in front. We may have been creeped out by the piano music that shouldn't have been playing, but an empty house is even worse. One which was empty even while we were all still here and healthy, thanks to me. Seems like we're having elevator trouble. the attic. Oh, it's just a coat closet. Not like that would be able to open anyway. An angel crossing a desolate field alone. I mean, it's a beautiful landscape, but something about the sunset or sunrise kind of makes it feel like, I don't know, like they're desperately fleeing something, like they don't want to be seen. Or actually, no, wait. It's hard to see in the dark, but there is actually a person there, a person that they're reaching out to. Well, that changes things considerably. What are we burning down there? I don't think insurance will cover that. Let's... A photo of us? Well, whatever the purpose, we took it with us. I can hear these boards crunching under my feet. That doesn't sound good. Maybe I meant to have tossed it in. Are you hearing that? It's such a loud creaking noise. I don't know what to make of that. Maybe it's because I screwed up the door, perhaps. I don't know. I really hope I don't get got by the old baby in the chest gag. It's like we sat there and watched and listened to the cries for quite a long time, if any of this is to go by. It looks like a door, but it's just an opening in the wall. Not as if it's boarded, but as if there was never anything there in the first place. And I guess we're just totally ignoring these mousetraps, huh? Some of these candles have completely melted into the floor. That rainstorm just comes and goes, doesn't it? I'm not sure if I should be going there just yet. So many books. I mean, look at that. A bookshelf and a hallway closet. What more can you ask for? Make up your mind. I see Darwin made a good model. This office looks like it was destroyed in a rage. Alright, what's in the creepy study? Door's closing behind me as expected. See, rooms like this are why I want to buy an old house. I want that wind sound. Yeah, recording might be a problem, but you guys have never been bothered by wind before. In fact, a lot of you seem to find it atmospheric. I do too. Sorry, I promise one of these days I'll make a video on a horror game and not just end up wanting whatever house is in it. I don't know, maybe the one from Anatomy? But even that one just needed some TLC. Really expected that to be gone when I came back. Look. No, look, that's not a body. That's just furniture making that shape. They knew what they were doing, though. Oh no, there's an A24 director following me around. Let's get out of here. There's a piece of jewelry there. And a collection of pipes. Well, this is a type of holder I didn't know existed. Is it just me, or are some of these paintings degrading more than when we saw them before? Collection of old rope. With that clock in the back, I feel like I'm playing a remake of the 2003 Haunted Mansion game. Backwards writing on the walls. Having crossed through the mirror. It cannot be undone. Whatever it is, no matter how much we want to, I guess we can't pick that up. And we cannot step back. We never tend to realize that in life, huh? I'm pretty sure that was the very first painting we saw when we stepped inside. I'm guessing there's a real dog in the mix as well. I wonder just which supply it is I'm looking for right now. Before it was a piece of flesh symbolized in a waterfall of decay. You know what's really cool about this game? It uses paint the way other horror games would use blood. And in the mind of our character, it may as well be the same thing. It represents life, and yet its placement means death. Same story on the other side. That's bad, but what it means is that now we have to turn around. Okay, not as bad as it could have been. Huh. You went all teeny tiny on me. Oh my! Something rolling? It's like something took the wheelchair or else inverted it. I think our choice of pathway makes a difference here. The paintings or the chair? Or an entirely neutral route? I'm gonna go with the chair because I imagine that would symbolize, infirmity, disability, in other words, our wife. While the paintings might symbolize attachment to our work, even while ignoring her. I don't know, I'm trying to do the right thing here. Look at that, the fan blade became embedded in the wall. Even when there's no fanfare, I can still hear the sound of doors opening around me. Like there's always someone just around the corner. Do you see what I mean about jump scares being used in this game to enhance the tension rather than conclude it? Oh, these lights aren't doing much. You could easily have something move by in the wall right there. Come on, no. Oh my god. Light, no. Oh, of course not. Light. You're gonna make us answer. Panda? Nope, you actually did move on your own. Okay, I was trying to see if there's anything in here, which there's not. It gave us plenty of time. Ooh, a key. And I'm starting to think that photos of our wedding may actually be a collectible. Maybe they lead to something. That's the second one we found. Paint dragged across the ground, leading us to vividly imagine what sort of creature was on the other side of this door just a moment ago. Oh! Is that our perception of what she was left looking like? Completely deformed with a horn growing out of her head?
This house is absolutely amazing. Oh, but those stairs. With that leg of mine, I think you'll have to carry me to the bedroom once we move in.
We had a bad leg. I don't know about a prosthetic. Seems like, I don't know, it seems like we were in good spirits about it. So there may be some confusion on my part about what happened to who here. But either way, she was severely injured in this fire. Isn't this the hallway we saw right before the kitchen last time? Back to our bedroom. Everything's melting. Our physical reality is running like ink. What is this?
I needed a jar and a plastic tubing. I siphoned gas before. I knew how it was done. I stuck the tube in a vein and sucked on it until blood filled my mouth. Then put the tube in the jar and it just kept coming. A taste of copper haunted me the entire night. Why didn't I think of a syringe?
Made on your skin, painted in your blood. All kinds of jewelry, a mirror. Wait. Prosthesis. Snatchers. Why the leg? Insatiable. Can't afford a new one. Prosthesis snatchers. The artist's impression, collect a rat sketch. Oh, right here.
Honey, what in the world are you doing? What did the doctor say about straining yourself? Leave that thing alone. It's not going anywhere.
Oh, wait, what is that? Do we need to adjust it so that the speed is right? Come on. Oh wait, there's something back here. There we go.
Stumbling all around, stumbling all around, stumbling all around. So funny. Stumbling here and there, stumbling everywhere. And
Maybe that fixes it.
I stepped right on her toes, and when she bumped my nose,
Okay, we're writing everything.
I felt ashamed. Stumbling all around, stumbling all
Okay,
around.
now maybe we can go. There we are. You know, this is the first time it's actually felt like we were setting things right and not just descending deeper into madness. Thankfully, we're just in time to descend even deeper into madness by painting this canvas with our blood. I was thinking before that it almost seemed like it could be a completed work, but this, it's completely transformative. It incorporates some of what was there before, but in other places it completely paints over it. The rotted fruits are gone, replaced instead with this melted table and a pool of blood beneath. That's something we can pick up? Late, even now, lost alone, you deserve a grave for you. Finish it. We're adding on to this note as we go. It did say that our decisions would matter, and we haven't seen everything. There were times where we were asked to choose a path, to go look at something that we didn't have to. We found notes that we didn't have to. So, I would not be surprised if there's actually multiple endings to this. It is far more than a walking simulator, and, well, artistically, I'm liking this far more than I thought I would, and I'm actually very glad I waited to do this in VR. It's one of those things that at this point is almost so popular that it kind of blends into the background, so I'm really glad I'm giving it a chance now thanks to you guys. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Now you might be wondering why I don't go open that. It's because one of my controllers died. We really made it down to the wire on this one. This was a photo finish.